Hello everyone, my name is Shani and welcome back to the Dynasty Fan Podcast. So I know I've been gone for quite a while and I am very sorry. Like usual, I just had a lot of stuff going on with work and everything like that. So yeah, but we're back now. We're doing a video, as you can tell. I hope everything looks okay. I think I might be just a little bit crooked. There we go. All right, so as always, you can find me on Twitter at Fal Ridley. I changed my @ a lot and I'm very sorry about that. Or you can find the podcast on Twitter at Dynasty Fan Pod. So today we are going over Season 4, Episode 8, Your Sick and Self-Serving Vendetta. So this episode originally aired on June 25th, 2021. It was written by Libby Wells and directed by Melanie Mayron. So yeah, this is a great episode. I liked it. I will explain why as we go through it. But yeah, so basically the synopsis is collateral damage. As Fallon continues to work on expanding Fallon Unlimited, she crosses paths with an old college friend who is more than what he seems. Sam throws himself into his work to occupy his time. Colleen and Jeff support each other until they realize they both want the same thing. Dominique and Blake secretly scheme together, and Fallon and Liam work together with surprising results. Which, always gotta love Fallon and Liam working together, you know. They're Fallium, of course. They have to do everything together. They're married now, you know. We gotta see what married life has in store for them. So this episode guest stars Daniel D. Tomaso as Fletcher Myers. So Fletcher's back in this episode. Shannon Thornton as Mia. I love Mia. Corbin Bleu as Blaine, which if you recognize the name Corbin Bleu, he played Chad in High School Musical. So that was kind of weird when I saw him in this. And Ashley Day as Colin McNaughton. So yeah, very interesting. There are some fun facts about this episode too on the Dynasty wiki, but I don't really want to go through that right now because they might spoil, so we don't want to do that. Synopsis on Netflix is: one of Sam's former flames reappears. A tricky love triangle takes shape between Michael, Jeff, and Mia. Crystal shares some shocking news with Adam. So that is very much a different synopsis than what the fandom wiki page has. So very interesting. Okay, so we start off with a Fallon and Blake scene. She is in her office at Fallon Unlimited and she explains that she wants to try and get this land in Scotland, but Blake explains to her that it got denied for some reason, and so they have to work and get that back because it was like a land of a castle and you're not allowed to build on those places. So yeah, they were denied to build in the Scottish countryside, but then Fallon realizes that one of the people who is working on that is Colin McNaughton, who went to Wharton with her, and they were in an a cappella group together, which didn't know Fallon was in an a cappella group, but to each their own, you know. She's a singer, but didn't know she would do a cappella necessarily. So, but yeah, so that's gonna, you know, maybe it'll work out for her, maybe it won't. But yeah. Okay, and then we get into a Kirby and Sam scene. And I am living for Kirby's look here. It is super pretty. If you don't remember, it's like this like pinkish dress with like a blazer kind of thing, and her hair is like pinned straight. And it's really long. She looks good. And so basically, you know, they're just talking and Sam is explaining his relationship drama, and Kirby's like, just focus on work. You know, don't worry about your relationship, just focus on work and maybe see if, you know, the Oasis Club can get to like a nightlife type of level. So yeah, so that'll be interesting. And then we see Corbin Bleu come in. He's like gonna be someone who's like helping out with it. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, no, he's just, you know, he's gonna help out with turning La Mirage into like kind of like the nightclub scene. So he's introducing his entire team, and his PR director happens to be none other than Fletcher Myers, which was Sam's boyfriend, who is also married, I think. Yeah, so that's gonna be a little bit awkward, but we'll see. Maybe it'll work out, maybe it'll be fine, maybe nothing badly will ever happen. But again, this is Dynasty, and something's always gotta happen. So yeah, so that's interesting. We're gonna see how that works out. I'm really sorry if I'm not looking in the camera, by the way. It's really hard. I just like looking at myself to make sure that like I keep staying in frame and everything, but sorry about that. So basically then Jeff and Culhane just kind of talk. It's not really, you know, super interesting, except that they both explain that they are seeing this new woman and they really like her. So yeah, they don't know yet that they are both seeing the same woman. Don't know how that's gonna go over. Yeah, I guess we will see. But I like Jeff's little like 1940s look. His you know, his designer shirt, but then he has like that like newsboy kind of cap, you know, where it's like they were in like Newsies or something. It's like the flat hat with like a little bit of like a bill here or whatever. I don't know, kind of like it, kind of dig it. Next we go into a scene with Blake and Dom, and Dom is looking at the picture of her father. It's like some old picture, it's in black and white, and you know, she's just kind of saying like she is upset that he never really was there for her, and that you know, he just left her nothing basically. And Blake is like, well, that's why we're doing this, is so that you can have something out of this. And then they kind of make this scheme to trick Alexis. Blake and Dom are gonna work together to make sure that Alexis thinks that there are diamonds underneath the house, and they're gonna keep trying to drain her of money while they search for the diamonds. So that'll be interesting. You know, everybody's always got to screw over Alexis. I love Alexis. I don't know why. I mean, she isn't the best person, but I love her. I think Elaine does a great job at being Alexis, but you know, I think they just need to leave each other alone. Like Blake and Alexis need to like go to 2 different places, stay there. They can both have contact with their kids, but it seems like, you know, it's never good when Blake and Alexis, and sometimes Dom and sometimes Crystal, are all in the same vicinity. Mischief just ensues. As we can tell here, you know, it was originally Alexis and Dom working together for these diamonds, and now Alexis is the one being screwed over, and now it's Blake and Dom working together on this, and just a lot. But I guess we will have to see what happens. Then we go to a scene and Crystal is in her bedroom and she's staring down at a pregnancy test. So yeah, that would be interesting if Blake and Crystal had a kid. Fallon's the youngest, and she's probably like, I want to say like maybe like 27 or 28 in this season. So she would be like 27 or 28 years older than her sibling, which is kind of weird because if Fallon and Liam have kids, their kids are going to be like a little bit younger than her sibling, which is, it's kind of weird. But yeah, but Crystal is timing like on her watch how long it's passed, and then she looks down at the pregnancy test and it's negative, which, whew, that's good. I mean, I don't want to be mean, but you know. But Fallon stops by Colin McNaughton's office and she just explains, you know, it's been a while since we saw each other. How's my favorite baritone? I miss harmonizing with you, all this kind of stuff. And she explains that her company is the defendant in the lawsuit for the Scottish land. And, you know, she's like, some of your friends, I just wanted to warn you that, you know, I think this is going to be a bit of a mistake. And he's like, I really don't care. She's like, you'll drop the lawsuit, right? And he's like, no. He's like, I don't really care about it, but I do care about stopping you. Which is kind of rude, I think. But whatever, to each their own. And then he brings up that, I guess Fallon like got him expelled from Wharton because she wanted to be top of the class, which honestly doesn't surprise me. Seems like a very Fallon thing to do. But I guess there was like a cheating scandal, and so like she turned him in, I think, and she thinks that he has been waiting like a decade to like somehow get back at her, and this was his chance. And he's like, no, I haven't thought about you in years. But it looks like he has, because he seems pretty salty about that cheating scandal thing. But he's like, hey, you can sell the land to me for 50%. And she's like, are you out of your mind? She's like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go with my own option, which is gonna involve you losing. So, and then, she has one of her Fallon quips at the end where she's like, just let you know, you were never my favorite baritone. You always fall flat, which is a music joke. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, so far, kind of not a rocky start, but not that intrigued yet. I was intrigued by the Alexis and Blake and Dom thing. But yeah, so far kind of interested, I guess. We'll see. So now we are in the mine under the house, and Alexis and Dom are just arguing. It's, just the same stuff. They're arguing about minerals and Blake's assets and how much each of them are owed or whatever. My favorite thing about this scene, though, is the fact that they're both in like really nice, probably designer outfits. Those outfits probably cost more than anything I own. And they're in like stilettos in this like mine. Alexis has like this like bright, hot pink, like hard hat. Oh, I love Alexis. Gotta love her. Yeah, looks like they're walking pretty hard there. So we see Liam, my little Liam. He is basically helping Fallon. So he's figuring out everything paper-wise about what Colin's doing. It's so nice that he's helping her, but he basically says that somebody helped Colin because the lawsuit was filed super fast, and that he's gonna keep digging, but if they can find out who helped Colin file this lawsuit, they can shut it down. But it's so sweet that he's trying to help her. But she's like, we don't have months, we have to do this now. Otherwise she might walk away with a big loss. And she wants to give Colin a taste of his own medicine, which that's her girl Fallon. She loves to get back at people, especially people that have wronged her. Wouldn't be Dynasty without Fallon getting back at someone. So, yep. Then we are at a Jeff and Mia scene, and then, they're just talking about like life, I guess. I don't really know. But she's kind of upset because he lied to her about being married, and then they hooked up, and then he didn't divorce Alexis, and him and Alexis were still married when him and Mia hooked up, and all that jazz, just crazy things. But he basically asks her for a second chance. She kind of pulls her hand away, and then Colleen walks in, and they don't look happy to see each other. And Mia's like, you guys know each other? Like, what's going on? And basically Colleen just walked in with a gift for Mia, and yeah, none of them look happy, really. I wouldn't be either, but I don't know what you're gonna do. Basically then Sam just talks to Fletcher, and Fletcher explains that he took this job on purpose. He wanted to see Sam. It wasn't like a coincidence. He wants Sam back, and Sam looks really, really upset, which sucks. I hate that people are using him like this. Like, Ryan's not answering him back. He's not texting back. He's not calling him back. And Fletcher like used him and lied to him, and you know, I'm just sad. I love Sam, and I want good things to happen to him. And so yeah, you know, Sam deserves a lot better. And so then Colin pays Fallon a visit at Fallon Unlimited. And he basically, you know, just explains that construction on his sites were halted due to code violations. I wonder who did that. So yeah, you know, Fallon's getting back at him, he's getting back at Fallon. They're like never gonna stop getting back at each other. And he's mad that she's taking out people because of what she wants, and she's like, you did it first, and you know, she's like, you started this war off of some sick vendetta, but you're the one who has to end it. So, you know, drop the lawsuit and we can both get back to doing what we want. And he basically just refuses and, you know, calls her naive, and he didn't come to drop the lawsuit, but he's now dropping his offer from 50% to 30%. The Fallon can buy the land back, and, you know, just back and forth with these two. You know, I feel like Colin is a good business match for Fallon. You know, he knows the ins and outs of business. I mean, so does Fallon, and so that's why I think like none of her schemes really worked on him. It's because he's just as business savvy as she is. So he says the offer's ticking, and he walks away. And I really like her outfit though. This little Gucci, I think it's Gucci, I don't know, could be wrong. The little moment is like a long sleeve with like a red shirt down. She had like a red lip, her hair was like back just a little bit. Living for it, really cute, love it. And so Sam and Kirby are now talking about the Fletcher situation, and Kirby, you know, is wanting all the deets, and Sam's like, well, Fletcher divorced his husband for me. And like, whoa, like that's a big deal. Like, you know, it's not every day that your ex-boyfriend divorces his husband for you. So it's a big deal. And so Kirby, you know, is asking him like, do you want to take Fletcher back? And he goes, no. And he's like, I want to be with Ryan, but Ryan's not answering his text. So like, you know, what are you going to do? Sam says that his priority is Ryan, but he doesn't think that he's Ryan's priority, which kind of sucks. I hate that Ryan is treating him like this. Like, I feel like all the time we've seen him, except for like Fallon and Liam's wedding, he's been like super like standoffish, I guess is the right word to say. So yeah, I don't know. But it's the next day. Fallon's still in the same clothes, which I don't think I've ever seen. And Blake notices too, and she's like, I'm a little weirded out that like you're tracking my wardrobe, but whatever, it's fine. But she basically stayed up all night to, you know, look at Scottish zoning laws and all this stuff so she can just further have this war with Colin. And Blake basically tells her to like stand down. He is suggesting that Fallon sells to Colin. It's going to be the best business move for her in the long run, and it just saves her a whole lot of time because, you know, she's not public with her company yet, and so this could basically tank Fallon Unlimited before they even release it to the public. And plus Blake recognizes the McNaughton name, and he's like, his dad is like a global like empire dude or something like that. I don't know, but he's like, yeah, it's just not gonna be a good idea. And then we get to an Adam and Alexis scene. I love Alexis's look here. That's really hard to say, sorry. But she's like this long, like maybe like faux leather dress, and her hair is like old Hollywood glam. She looks great. But basically Adam explains that he wants to propose to Kirby, which is exciting. And he, you know, is kind of, he wants to tell Alexis about it. He's like, I want you to be included, and I want your blessing, even though you pulled that stunt with the sushi. And he's like, but either way, I'm still proposing to Kirby. So that's fun. All the Cadam fans up there are gonna love that. I loved it when I watched it. I really like Kirby and Adam together. I feel like it's like that trope where it's like, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call Kirby like the good girl, but it's like it's like that Tumblr quote or whatever where it's like girls want the bad boy who will only be nice to them or something like that, you know? And so I feel like, especially though, since it's season 4, Adam hasn't been as like mischievous as he has been in the last couple of seasons, like especially when we first met him in season 2, and like he, you know, did all that crazy stuff with like Liam, and like he like knocking him over the head with the flower pot and then pushing him into the pool and then sleeping with Liam's mom. Like, that's some mischief, pushing Alexis into the fire, all that stuff. And now he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna propose to Kirby. I'm the chief of staff at a hospital, all this stuff. I don't know. I kind of like the new Adam though. Like, I like that he still has some side of mischief towards him, but yeah, I don't know if you get my drift. So yeah, and then Alexa tries to walk away and the house is falling apart. There's paintings that are like crooked everywhere. The door isn't opening. She's like, doesn't understand what's going on, but whatever. But Fallon meets Colin at his office. She's like, I will take the deal, but I'm gonna do it for the original 50%. Also, we gotta talk about this look, by the way. Her hair is long, curled, it's beautiful. It's like, she's like wearing this like army, like forest green type of dress, and it has like flowers all over the skirt. Really pretty. Her outfits this episode have been like top notch. They look really good. So yeah, but Colin is basically just like, you know, agreeing to the deal, and Fallon's like, wait, but this is gonna end our feud forever. And, you know, I bought you this bottle of alcohol. I can't really tell if it's wine or if it's like another thing, but she's like, this is just, you know, to add to it and show you that I'm serious about this. And he's like, okay, well, we'll crack this open and celebrate. And then he goes over to his assistant, Michelle, you know, just talking to her. And Fallon reaches over the desk and takes a picture of his documents, which, like, my question is like, how did she know those were the right documents? Like, were they just any pieces of paper that he had on his desk? Like, how did she know that this had to do with that? I mean, I guess, you know, since they were talking about it, he probably was like researching it a little bit more, but like, I would have made sure that like that was the actual information that I needed when I took the picture of it, instead of just like reaching over and just like taking a picture of anything, because he could have had like, I don't know, his like grocery list or something on that piece of paper. But I mean, I guess it's a TV show. I shouldn't think too much into it, but I don't know, we'll see. Then we see Alexis and Dom again, and you know, Dom's all walking weird and all that stuff, and she's like, it's the house, I tripped on the back porch, the steps are like coming up, like the house is sinking. And you know, this is again just part of Dom and Blake's plan to make Alexis, you know, give them the house back and believe that the house is not at a good state to where there's going to be minerals or anything like that. So she seems like she's believing it, but also not, because she's still carrying around that pink hard hat, which cracks me up. But I don't know, if I ever do construction, I'm gonna need a hot pink hard hat. But then basically Blake and Alexis are like, Blake and Dom, sorry, excuse me. Blake and Dom are like, did she fall for it? You know, like, and Dom's like, yeah, like, she did, but she only cares about taking it from you, so she doesn't care that it's being messed up right now. And so they're like, okay, well, I guess we have to, you know, play on that a little bit more and make it all crazier. And so Dom, like, brings in the hose, I guess, from the outside, and a sledgehammer. I don't really know. I'm like, I guess it's not that bad if they destroy it, because if anybody has the money to do repairs, it's gonna be Blake. But yeah, I think they're gonna like flood it or something. But then we go over to a Fallon and Liam scene. You know, your girl loves Fallon and Liam. So yeah, so they're sitting in their room, and Fallon has this like all leather outfit on. It's like tied up in the front. It's like a corset. And, you know, she's explaining to Liam that she took a picture of his calendar. Okay, so I guess it was his calendar. That makes sense. And, you know, there's a match that will connect it to the lawsuit. Like, there's like this meeting with MP, and she has Liam cross-check it with like everybody he knows with like the initials MP. And Liam says that it's the State Attorney General Marshall Pintz. So they think that he's meeting with a State Attorney General. So they're like, maybe he's bribing him, like, should we surveil him? And she's like, well, yeah, that's why I'm wearing this like spy outfit. She's like, I've been dying to put this outfit to use. And he, you know, is just enamored. He's just looking right at her, and he's like, I guess dreams do come true. She like cutely like does her hair like that a little bit, you know. She's feeling herself. Liam's checking her out in that outfit, you know, all that stuff. So we're gonna get spy Fallium. So that's always fun. I remember when I first watched this episode, or we first like got, I don't remember if they like, or if Liz like posted something about the outfit first and then we saw the episode, or she posted it after the episode. But I remember freaking out either way because of this outfit. I was like, yes, we're getting spy Fallium. We're getting like, they're gonna go on this stakeout together. We're getting partners in crime, like all this stuff and everything like that. But before we can see that, we have another scene with Sam and Fletcher, and Fletcher's like, I want you back. And he's like, I was scared, but I want you back. And Kirby told me that you're in love with me. And Sam's like, excuse me, hello, what? But he's like, I have moved on, and I deserve somebody who's gonna give me my full attention. And I was like, yes, Sam. Everybody give a round of applause for Sam, because he deserves all the love, and he doesn't deserve to get it from somebody who's gonna only love him partially. And, you know, yeah, he deserves 100% of someone's love. And so I think that is good that, you know, he doesn't pursue anything long-term with Fletcher. It was fine that they had a fling, but, you know, yeah, whatever. So then we go to Crystal, and, you know, she's explaining her symptoms, and the doctor's like, well, you could be pregnant. I mean, those are symptoms of pregnancy, but it's usually, you know, $10 pregnancy tests aren't the most accurate, so they're gonna perform a blood test and see if she actually is pregnant. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And then, you know, Alexis and Adam are talking again about the whole, he's gonna propose to Kirby, and, you know, Alexis is like, this place is sinking like the Titanic. She sees the water over the floor, and the wall is like completely gone, and all that stuff. But now we're at a drive-in, so Fallon and Liam are in this like cool old school, like kind of like, I don't know what year it is, but it looks like maybe like a 50s like old school car, which I love. I love old cars like that. They're in the back seat together, all dressed in black and leather, and they're, you know, watching Colin, and, you know, they're like, who is he meeting with, like all of this stuff, and they see him get out, and they're like, oh my gosh, like, why is he getting out? And then he looks back, and Liam grabs Fallon's head and kisses him, and she's like, that was a brilliant idea, and it was pretty hot. And Liam like slyly goes, this ain't my first drive-in. Okay, all right, Liam, that's cool. But it seems like he's leaving, and they're not sure why, but then they see Michelle, Colin's assistant, walks up, and they're like, this is the MP that he's meeting. And then they start, like, Colin and Michelle start making out in the car. And yeah, they start making out in the car, and Liam is taking pictures and everything like that, and they have the perfect blackmail material. So that's fun. once they get back to their room, you know, they have the pictures. Fallon's putting them in the folder. She's like, when they get back to the room, Fallon and Liam are putting all these pictures in a folder, and they're like, he'll be ruined if they'll get these out, so he's gonna do whatever it takes to make sure that these pictures don't get out. And Liam's like, he mentions something like, this time he'll be the one to pay the price. And Fallon's like, what? And he's like, well, every time Colin gets taken down, he takes someone down with him. So it's like if I go down, we go down together type of thing. And he said that he also got that TA back at Wharton fired named Tyler. And Fallon, I guess, discovered that Colin was stealing Tyler's tests, and he got fired a few weeks later, which is like, I don't understand why Tyler would get fired if Colin was the one stealing his tests, but whatever. Colin cheated, and Fallon's like, I feel really bad. And Liam's like, no, don't feel bad. It's not your fault. And he's like, usually I'm the one taking the moral high ground. She's like, hey, leave me alone. But he's like, you should go for it. You need to use these photos. It's gonna force Colin's hand. It's not gonna ruin his life. He ruined other people's lives. So it's like, you can do it. It's not gonna do anything bad. But Fallon's face says otherwise. So I don't know. We rarely ever see Liam, you know, saying that it's cool for Fallon to pull a scheme. Usually he's trying to convince her that she shouldn't do it. But she goes to his office, and she explains she was like, she was too insecure that she'd be a cheater, so she outed him as cheating. And so she gives him the envelope of all the pictures to Colin, and she's like, I am not a cheater. I don't want to be a cheater. I could have destroyed you, but I don't want to stoop to your level. So she took away her lawsuit, and the land is now officially a historical landmark. And she's like, as long as she accepts the historical designation and agrees to pay for the restoration of the castle, she can build her campus around like 600 feet away or something like that. So she's like, it's not going to be a problem. So yeah, so I guess she technically did get her way, and is not going to destroy like a historical landmark in the meantime. And Colin is like, he's a little bit pissed. But yeah, he calls Michelle and she's like, hey, and Fallon's like, hey, maybe next time, you know, let him buy you a drink. So yeah, I don't know. So we will see. Then basically Blake is explaining to Alexis that he, you know, purposefully sabotaged the house. He said like, payback's a bitch, but oh wait, that title is only reserved for you, or something like that. I like that quote. I think that's really funny. And then basically, so next we have cut. So next is found in Liam in Blake's study, and Liam's just asking like, so you never gave Colin the pictures of him cheating? And she's like, no. She's like, you know, I wanted to prove that I could change from Wharton and that I'm a better person, and I didn't want to do anything bad and have any collateral damage. She's like, and now guess who took the moral high ground? And Liam feels like he failed her, and she's like, no, of course not. He didn't fail her. She just wanted to figure this one out on her own. But she's like, I still have that steak outfit. And he's like, oh yeah. And they kiss. But her dress right here is so pretty. It's like, it's not like checkerboard, but it's like kind of like glitching the camera just a little tiny bit. And it's super pretty though. It's kind of like green. It has flowers. And Blake walks in. He's like, get out of my study. And so they're like, okay, one more kiss. And then he leaves. But Fallon's like, she's like, I'm gonna put the company public, and we will fortify ourselves and hopefully have no more run-ins. And she's like, someone once told me that you can't build a dynasty by playing it safe. So, little business advice from her father there. So yeah, Adam now is rewarded with the chief of staff position at the hospital. But then Crystal like runs up to him crying, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "You know, I thought I was pregnant. They did a blood scan and it came back negative, but," she's like, "it did come back with something bad." And he's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" She's like, "No, I have a brain tumor." Which, like, holy crap, Dynasty, that is some dark stuff. Like, I mean, we've had dark stuff in the past, but like a brain tumor is a lot, especially, you know, with like everything that Crystal's gone through and all this stuff. But I guess, so this brings me to that one trivia thing that I saw on Fandom Wiki, and this pays homage to the OG, because I guess Crystal also suffered a brain tumor in that one, which is crazy. I did not know that. I guess I need to catch up on my original Dynasty, because I'm not there yet. But I didn't know that she got a brain tumor in the original. That's crazy. And then, you know, Alexis and Dom are in the mine again. Alexis is wearing a very 80s outfit. She's got like little tight pin curls all around her. She's got this like dress with like these massive shoulder pads. Kind of live for it. I like when they bring like a little bit of elements of the 80s into this modern one, but you know, it wouldn't be Dynasty without a cat fight. So Alexis and Dominique are fighting now in the mine. They're both in heels, you know, as you do in Dynasty, which brings me to the second trivia thing on Fandom Wiki. And this was Michael Michelle's favorite sequence of the season to shoot. Which, I mean, I wouldn't blame her. I think it'd be really fun to have like a cat fight scene like this. But they're like, you know, like taking each other, like shaking each other and like all that stuff. And Alexis slams Dominique against the pole, and they just hear like rumbling. And then next thing you know, all of the rocks are falling from the ceiling. So it looks like they are trapped in this mine now, which is interesting, actually. I would love to see how this plays out. I think it's gonna be super funny because they're both very into their clothes, and I feel like they're not necessarily outside people. So I guess we will have to see what happens. So yeah, that is season 4, episode 8. You're Still Sick and Self-Serving Vendetta. I hope you enjoyed. I know that season 5 is airing right now. I'm trying to get through the season 4 as quickly as I can so we can go over season 5. It's been about a week since the last episode of Dynasty premiered. We didn't get one this past Friday. It is Monday now. So hopefully, you know, if you guys want, I can update more, like maybe like every day. I don't know if that's too much. Or I can even, you know, kind of merge 2 episodes into one podcast episode if that's easier, if you want me to get to season 5 quicker. I know a lot of international folks aren't able to see season 5 right now until it comes out on Netflix as a whole season after season 5 finishes airing. Or I can take my time. Just, yeah, let me know. You can shoot me a DM on Twitter or Instagram. Both are at Fal Ridley and at Dynasty Fan Pod. So yeah, just let me know what you want to see. If you want me to keep going fast with these to be able to catch up to season 5 as it's airing, or if you want me to take my time and then once season 5's on Netflix, I can go through them one at a time. Yeah, but thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video podcast. Let me know if you do like the video, if you like seeing my face, my genuine reactions. So yeah, give me some feedback. You can probably watch this on Spotify. I'll also have it uploaded on YouTube in case you don't have Spotify or Anchor. So yeah, all right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I will talk to you soon. Bye.